All right, we are recording. Okay, so I'm going to kick it off with a quote from Bo Eason. If you guys don't know who that is, I was at his event this past weekend. Bo Eason is a former NFL safety. He played defense in the NFL for 4 years. One of these guys that's like one of the smallest guys. Didn't have the talent or size that any of these other guys had, but he's one of the guys that just got up at 5 a.m., worked his butt off, didn't get a scholarship to any colleges, 350 colleges in the country, not one of them wanted him. He walked onto a team and, again, worked his butt off all the way through college and ended up being the first safety drafted in the NFL draft, I think back in 1983. Played for the Houston Oilers. He was one of the best safeties in the NFL. Then he blew out his knee, and he had to do something else. So, again, he said that he has this TNT in him, this, like, energy that it's just he's meant to do something. And if he didn't find something to channel that energy, he was probably going to end up in an orange jumpsuit. So he ended up finding stage acting. And so what he did was he was like, all right, he has an obsession with being the best. So he decided he was going to be the best stage actor. And even though all these actors had more time on him because they started before him because he was going off and doing his NFL thing and they were jumping right in after school, he just got on stage and practiced more than anyone else to make up for all the time that he had missed. And that's what he did. Because he got himself on stage and he practiced more and put in more time than anybody else, he became a better actor and one of the best actors of his generation. He wrote his own play that was on Broadway. He starred in the own play. It was a one-man play. He was the only one in the play. And the New York Times called it one of the greatest, most powerful plays of the decade. So Bo Eason is someone you guys are going to be hearing more about. If you haven't, I would definitely check him out on YouTube, his Facebook. He's got some great stuff. And I'm going to be working with him for a year. So I'm going to be sharing a lot of the stuff that he's going to be sharing with me. His big thing is sharing your story. If you have a vision, if you have a message and you want to find other people that want to be a part of that message and have that same vision, you got to share your story to connect with them. That's the only way it's going to work. So I just got a quote here from Bo. He said, the single most important skill you must have to lead is the ability to tell your own story. And I know a lot of times people, and I'm guilty of this, I'm like, I don't really have a story. Everybody has a story. It doesn't matter what it is. Everybody has something in their life that they're struggling with or they've struggled with or that wasn't quite right. And that little bit of story, something that happened, doesn't have to be your story, this whole long drawn-out thing. It's just little tiny things that happen, these little defining moments when you're 9 or 10 or 11 years old, or something that happened yesterday. Those little things that other people can relate to, those struggles, are going to get people to trust you because you're being vulnerable, and they're going to be willing to listen to what you have to say and be more willing to listen to that vision and that mission that you guys have. So if that's important to you, if you guys have a mission or a vision or something you guys want to do, with your time you have here, it's so important that you get comfortable with sharing some of those things that are a little bit more vulnerable, sharing some of those defining moments, those stories. That's the connective tissue that's going to get people to eventually get on board with you and join on that mission with you. And they'll take that mission and make it their own. And that's when this thing gets so fun. All right. So we're going to do a lot more of, learning how to share our stories, these little tiny pieces of our life over the next year. So I'm excited for that. All right. So recognition for Success Club for October. We got 6 coaches that have already hit Success Club. Let's see, actually more than have hit Success Club. So Success Club 5 as of yesterday. We got Jan Zabelski, Ali Pendich, Shannon Stumpf, Miriam Cagasso, Michelle Katz, Caroline Nathan, Donnie Imez. Those all that were Success Club 5 or 6. Donnie Imez is at Success Club 8. Brooke Reed, Success Club 8. Sarah Olinsky, Success Club 10. Beth McDonald, Success Club 11. Bree Simpson at 12. Casey Bachlet at 12. Myself at 12. And lead in the pack, Ashley Feldenson with 16. Killing it. All right, so we are, 2/3 of the way through the month. And, October is a tough month. This is going to be a month where those free groups are going to be huge. And that's what the team call was last week. If you didn't get a chance to be on that call or you haven't listened to the recording yet, go into your coach group, go into the files tab and find that recording from last week. Because using those free groups, because a lot of people just for whatever reason with holidays coming up, it's a little bit tougher for them to commit to themselves, to get that money and get into a challenge group. So these free groups right now are huge. They're huge. That's, again, where you gain the trust, the credibility. And then when they do come to a point where, okay, I'm ready for this thing in a month, 2 months, 3 months, maybe the beginning of next year, they're going to look to you as the one that they're going to join because you're the one that took the time to give them that valuable information, that valuable experience for nothing, right? So, all right, that's Success Club. Weak leg team volume from last week. So again, weak leg team volume, I posted the two most important recognition photos really are the leadership ladder that's posted every 5th of the month. If you don't know what the leadership ladder is, that's definitely something you want to reach out to your coach about or you can just go to your coach online office, news and training, and click on leadership ladder. So coach online office, news and training, leadership ladder. That's definitely something you really want to get familiar with. The other thing is the one I'm going to read now is the weak leg recognition. So these are the coaches that are not only having success themselves, but they're also starting to build a team that has momentum. They're building team that's creating team volume. They're starting to develop leaders and business builders, not just on their strong leg, but on their weak leg too. So these are the coaches that had over 300 team volume points on their weak leg, which was based on the efforts of all the coaches in their weak leg. And it doesn't matter if they were personally sponsored by that coach or not. It doesn't matter if it's PS or a non-PS coach. If that coach is in your left or right leg, their volume is your team volume. So these coaches had over 300 volume points in their weak leg. Brooke Reed, Trip Knowles, Kayla Kretschmer, Lauren Kellum, Dave Yakel, Joe Wagner, Nick Waltz, Jeff Leese, Nikki Sidowitz, Melissa Virgil, Morgan Brakenberry, Margaret Mackerer, Allison Charbois, Kelly Marks, and Ashley Feldenson. With over 500 team volume points in their weak leg, Sarah Olinsky, Carrie Steelman-Schmidt, Brittany Barsky, Josh Morgan, Wade Kepar, Amy Reelman, Second Business Center, my Third Business Center, Shauna Valenta, and Peter Reelman. With over 1,000 team volume points in their weakest leg, Joe Policino, Robert Rodriguez, Chris Bachlet, Caroline Nathan, Charles Wallace, Marie Sardelli, Stacy Slade, Gage Eckert, Amy Morgan, Alyssa Sardelli, and Terry Bachlet. With over 3,000 team volume points in their weakest leg, Michelle Phillips in my Second Business Center. With over 5,000 team volume points in their weakest leg, Amy Reelman and Andrea Wallace. And with over 10,000 team volume points in their weakest leg, Beth Reelman and myself. So that's your weak leg team volume. Again, if you're not really sure on weak leg, on team volume and how that works with your strong leg and your weak leg, talk to your coach about that and try to get a little bit more comfortable with that. But if you can work to get your name on that list that I just read, you're doing some good things. If your name's not on that, that's okay. It's going to take time, but eventually you will get to that point when you do find those couple, good coaches that want to run with you on this thing. Cool. All right. So that's the recognition. So, to be honest, like this business, a lot of times, just like anytime you're building a business, there's some things that are kind of mundane. You're doing the same things over and over. The nice thing about this business is it's not rocket science. It's a very, very simple business, what we do. The downfall of that is you're doing a lot of the same simple things over and over and over again and over and over and over and over again, right? So it can become mundane, after a while. But if you keep sight of that bigger picture of, hey, like if all I got to do to be successful with this thing, to really build a team that's going to impact a lot of lives and create financial freedom in my life, all I need to do is find those 2 or 3 leaders that really believe in this mission and believe in this business as much as me. If you just keep that in mind, you're not going to get so distracted by being bored with the mundane. You know, you're not going to, it's the whole, like, I need to be consistent more often. If you have that bigger picture goal and that strong why, you don't have to try to be consistent. You just will be. So having that big picture goal in mind, it's going to come down to finding those 2 or 3 leaders of your own that want to do this with you, whether they're personally sponsored or not. That's what's going to get you to stay energized when it does get mundane at sometimes. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you, the coaches that do stay energized long enough and stick through those simple things over and over, that slight edge philosophy, that escalator mindset, and inevitably they find that first really good person that just wants to do this as much as them, and they get fired up and they're working together. It changes the game. It changes the game. You look back at all the mundane, all the boring stuff you had to go through to find that person, and you look at that person and you go, it was worth every freaking second, because that person starts to change yourself, changes you. It's funny to say, but it really happens. And now there's 2 of you working together to find that next good person that really wants to do this alongside you. So you find that 3rd person even faster. But I see coaches all the time that they get stuck in this mundane. It doesn't happen as fast as they want. But the ones that stick with it and find that first really good person, that second really good person that's in this long term, that's their tribe, it's a game changer. And they just look back at everything they had to go through, and they know it was worth every second. Every second. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Some of the coaches on the team are going to share some tips on kind of how they, make this thing a little bit more fun. I always tell, my coaches, if you're stressed, you're doing something wrong. Like, this is not something you're supposed to be stressed when you're doing. This is a fun thing that you're doing along with other people that want to have fun with it and help people and live a healthy lifestyle. If you're stressing yourself out, we need to talk about that and fix some things, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about, how to make this more fun and protect that fun. I think that's so important. If you're not having fun, like I said, you're doing something wrong, and you're probably not going to stick with it long enough to find those couple good people that are going to make you so excited about this thing. They're going to allow you to build a team that's going to help way more people than you can on your own. So protecting that fun is something that a lot of people don't really talk a lot about, but we want to talk about that today. So I'm going to Jillian, did you want to kick it off and share some of your tips for trying to make the mundane a little bit more fun and protecting that fun so that we can stay with this thing long enough to find our tribe?
Yep. What's up, y'all? So I don't really have tons to talk about, but 2 major things I want to hit is success partner and finding things in your business that actually you enjoy and that you look forward to doing, that, obviously aren't the inviting, following up, and posting all the time. But as far as success partner goes, you have to find somebody that you really, truly mesh with on levels other than Beachbody, somebody that has a similar lifestyle as you, and somebody who has similar goals as you. I'm lucky I have Donnie. She's super fun. She's awesome.
Donnie.
I know at Summit she had taken notes. I think I was too hungover to attend this one, but she took notes for both of us. And it was these 2 people that was it Carrie Legault? Donnie, was that who it was? Yeah. Her and somebody else. Who was the other person? I don't know.
Megan Evil. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So they did everything together. And Donnie and I had always talked about doing stuff together, but we had really never actually made it happen. Maybe one group or something. But after Summit, we got together because we met at Summit, which was really cool. And we got together, and she's like, look, read these notes. They do everything together. Let's do everything together. And so we legit do all of our free groups together. We do our sneak peek to coachings together. And it's super fun. And she keeps it fresh for me. She'll call me out when I'm not doing my stuff, and I'll call her out. And, she's very encouraging always. She never has anything negative to say to me. So you want to find somebody that definitely pulls the little good pieces from you, but also is not afraid to tell you dude, you're not I'm not on the Success Club board yet this month, and I need to get there. So, always have somebody who's got your back, is not afraid to tell you the truth, and wants to have fun with you. And the second thing is finding things that make the business fun, things that you enjoy, things that you look forward to doing. And, this can get kind of hairy because everybody has like a different way that they run their business. I know a lot of people have personal assistants that they use to do all their PicMonkey stuff. And for a while, like I stopped doing all the PicMonkey stuff because I was like, oh, it's a waste of time. Everybody says it's a waste of time. Maybe I should just pay, somebody else to do it. I would have more time to do other things. But for me, like I really like doing PicMonkey stuff. So anytime that Donnie's like, hey, let's do a group, I'm like, I got the cover photo, I got the ad, like got your back. Because that's something that I really like to do, and it gets me excited about the free groups and about posting for the free groups and about inviting people to the free groups, which otherwise I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, free group, like let's see what comes of this. But this adds excitement to it for me. I'm about to run a little black dress challenge, and that was exciting for me to get in my pick to make the little ad for the challenge. So I think that, having a kick-ass success partner and then just finding the little things that make your business fun. If you're tired of inviting people, then stop coming off so generic. Like find something on their page that you truly, really have in common with them and start talking to them about that. Don't just go through, and I think anybody that does it is cool, but if you don't want to just go through your inbox, maybe do just scroll through your newsfeed every once in a while and see something really interesting that maybe you hadn't caught before and just start talking to that person. It doesn't always have to be about systems and this and that. You can kind of move freely, but eventually you do have to get back to that stuff. But have fun with it. Don't make it so serious. Don't make it so boring. Like Pat said, if you're stressed out about it, then your people can tell that you're talking to, they can tell that you're stressed out and that you're not having fun and that you're just trying to push the sale. So you're not going to get that sale. I think somebody posted recently, they're like, I've invited everybody, I've done this, nothing's working. And I didn't see how long they'd been a coach, but like, first of all, like that's kind of just the beginning of the business. It's really mundane. It's really repetitive. It's kind of the same thing. But like, if you keep doing that, whoever you were, I don't remember, but if you keep doing that in a couple of months, like you're going to be really glad you did, because a lot of those people that said no are going to come back to you and they're going to say yes. And that's going to make it fun for you again. And you're going to find new ways to jazz stuff up. So don't really have too much. Like I said, those are kind of my points. I hope somebody talks about making challenge groups fun, because I'm recently getting really bored with mine. So I'd love to hear some new ideas.
Awesome. Cool. All right, Donnie, did you want to jump in?
Yeah. And Jillian, that's exactly what I'm talking about. How to make challenge groups fun. So, hey guys. So like last year, this time, it was my first like slow winter season as a coach. And I was getting really bored with my challenge groups. So I sat down and decided like, okay, this is what I need to change. And so I'm just going to kind of share with you guys some little ideas that like I had and some different ways that I've changed them up a little bit. And I want to start off by saying that like, this is your business. You don't have to run your challenge groups the way that your coach runs their challenge groups. You can change it anytime you want. That's the amazing thing about this. So you find what works for you and the challengers that you have in your current group, and you run with it until that doesn't work anymore. And then you just change it again. As long as it's fun for you and for your challengers, then you're doing good. So the first thing that I did was I added a daily personal development assignment. I know that doesn't sound like fun, but just that little change up in my challenge groups made it a lot more fun for everyone, and it just gave another way for everyone to interact. When I first started doing them, I was doing short little podcasts or inspirational YouTube videos, or I would give them like an assignment. Like one that my challengers always really liked was I would have them think of someone who has had a huge impact on their life and just reach out to that person and just say, hey, how have you been? Just talk to them. They don't have to say like, you changed my life in this way and that. Just start a conversation. Just say, hey, what's going on? Because it's probably someone from like whenever we were younger or something and we haven't talked to in a long time. But anyway, so that's just one they really liked. Another one that's always a big hit is I have them download the Calm app and I make them do that. That is always huge. And they always, it's a great app. It's a great app. And my challengers always tell me afterwards, like, oh, I kept it and I did the meditations and stuff like that. So that's a really good one. And now I just have them do the daily Darrens, and then on the weekends I will give them little extra assignments. Another thing that you could do is you could do like daily photo challenges, but something fun. Like I'm all about, I think challenge groups are such a great way to find potential coaches. And so every once in a while I will do like, you know, post a encouraging water pick on your public profile, but some people are very, very private. And so sometimes you get crickets. And so if you want to make it fun, pick something fun, like, you know, whoever, you know, post a thread about like the craziest picture of yourself or the cutest dog or something, you know, just find something fun, get to know your clients too and your challengers that are in your group, and you'll know what they like and what they don't like. I think a really great thing to do is to post in there about things that don't have anything to do with health and fitness or, you know, the actual challenge group. That's such a great way to get to know your clients, and it gets them to get to know each other as well. Jillian knows this. I don't know how many other people know this, but I may be like a 30-year-old married mom of two, but I'm still like a big fangirl. And so I have like celebrity crushes and stuff. So I'm constantly talking about my celebrity crushes. But I know that sounds like so silly and stupid, but it's such a good way to like get to know someone and talk about movies and talk about TV shows and, you know, things like that. And you could start a group message thread and do the same thing. I just watched this TV show. It was so cool. Have you guys watched this? Or just read a good book or something like that. You know, just make it fun. Make it fun. And then my biggest tip for like if it's a slow season and you don't have any or very many new challengers is to pay attention to your past challengers. I always treat my past challengers just like my new challengers. They don't get treated any differently to me. To me, they're all a new client. And so you could always do a challenge group with all of your past challengers in there and just treat them like it's brand new. Just don't treat them any differently. And just because like if coaching is not right for one of your challengers right then at the end of their 3-week challenge group doesn't mean that a year from now it's not going to be the right time for them at that point to do coaching. But if you have totally dropped the ball on them and they have not stuck with Shakeology and they have not stuck with their program and they have not had any support from you in a year, that's probably not going to happen. So those are my tips, I think.
Boom. Love it. I'm going to share in the chat here. I just shared a link to a Google spreadsheet. And if you click on the tab that says daily questions, there's a list of 21 different questions you can post in your challenge groups. My favorite, I think, is like, if you could be any movie character from a movie, which one would you be and why? It's kind of a fun one. Another good one's like, what's your why? That's like one of the first ones you ask. Where are you from? What have you done for work? Tell us a little bit about yourself. One interesting fact about yourself. So there's 2 things that I'm always doing in the prep week of my challenge group. So my challenge groups, they always start on a Monday, and the deadline for people to order is always 10 days before on a Friday. So I have 10 days in between when the order deadline is and when it actually starts. And during those 10 days, I have a prep week, a 7-day prep week that starts on Monday. And I make sure, and I text them, a voice text, and I say, there's 2 things that I want you guys to really concentrate on this week during the prep week. Number 1, get out of your comfort zone and interact with the other people in the group and make it fun. The more you get out of your comfort zone, the more you interact, the more you encourage the other members, the more you're going to get out of this experience, the better the results. Hold on. I think my sister Amy's at the door. 1 second. The second thing, hold on 1 sec.
What do you want us to do?
The second thing I'm doing is I'm making sure that they're asking all their questions about their challenge pack that's coming. So if they have a 21-day fixed challenge pack coming, I'm making sure that they know exactly how many of each containers they're going to be eating. They know what they're going to get at the grocery store. They have it all figured out. Okay, so those are the 2 things, right? Making sure when that day one starts, they're ready to hit the ground running. They got everything figured out. All their questions are answered. And the other thing is they're really comfortable with each other, and they're encouraging each other already, because in that prep week, we also made them get out of their comfort zone to answer some of those funny questions and start to encourage each other. So that when the real day one starts, they're all pumped up to work with each other, and they're all ready to rock and roll with the workouts and the meal plan and the shake recipes. So I just happen to have 2 elite coaches from Team Boom. Just kind of stumble into my hotel room with their robes on. And so it's kind of funny that Michelle Phillips is here, because you might be like one of the best at this. We're talking about how to make this business fun, because sometimes it can be, some things you do are a little mundane. So we're talking about some tips on how to spice things up, how to like make it more fun more often. So Amy, I know you got some good tips too. I don't know if you guys have any, but maybe you can think about it and we'll let someone else go. But
I can talk quick. I don't know if I have a lot of tips. Pat just told us to come over here, and we were getting ready for the party tonight. So that's why we're both in robes.
We're at the leadership retreat right now.
Yeah, we're not just like hanging
which
out.
Is in
robes.
we're in San Diego.
Dave's gonna be
for
like,
the annual Beachbody leadership retreat. I think they invite like the top 200 coaches to the event, something like that, every year. So that's one of the coolest events, because it's smaller and it's a lot of the top coaches. You get to bounce a lot of ideas off each other. So we're going to be coming back, on the team call next week with some great stuff. But yeah, we got 4 coaches from Team Boom out of the top 200.
3 of them are real ones.
3 of them are real ones. It's pretty intense. So, all right.
Our stepsister Michelle.
Yeah.
I kind of missed the beginning, but were you talking making it fun for yourself?
Yeah. So Jillian talked about like how to interact with people that have things that you actually have in common with them. So you're not just talking to talk, like you're talking about things that you're actually interested in. And then Donnie talked about some things in your challenge for how to make that more fun by getting your people to interact with each other.
For me personally, I don't know if you guys follow the color code or GEMS or any of the personality type testing, but I'm a yellow by color code. I'm a sapphire by GEMS. So I am motivated by fun. So corner Albert. I see you. Yeah, so for me, like, I have to keep this business fun or I don't want to do it anymore. So some things for me, I think that some people already said was I need to connect with people that I actually want to talk to and actually would want to hang out with. If I don't relate to them, or maybe I don't see myself being friends with them, I don't know. I'm not saying they wouldn't make a great coach, but they might not make a good coach for my team. So for me personally, I really want people that I can have real friendships with. One thing I feel like I do to keep it, I don't know if this is a fun thing, but I'm also kind of motivated like a little bit by a challenge. So like I set little rewards for myself with my business. I'm stealing all Amy's things, which means maybe it's good. What I'm saying is good. But yeah, I try to set like little rewards for myself. Like if I do this, maybe treat myself to something I've been wanting, or because that's something that really helps me, is just being rewarded for something, even if I'm rewarding myself. So I'll just set little benchmarks like that. Like, I don't know, I really, really wanted something, and I was like, if I hit this amount of income this week, I can have that, instead of just buying everything I want all the time. So I try to do stuff like that, set rewards. That's something that really motivates me and keeps the business fun for me. And then most of it for me is the people. So for me, the way to keep this business fun is I need to go to as many live events as possible. Like that is what fuels my fire, that gets me going. Like I've been feeling in like a slump lately with certain different aspects of life. And I could not wait for this event because I just knew that getting here, just being around, and even Pat and Amy and Annie, who I talk to all the time, like just being in person with these people and the energy and the positivity and the workouts and everything is just awesome. So I'm just really excited to get here. So, So just get to as many live events as possible. Get to Super Saturday. It's in like a week. October 29th.
Week. Yeah, next weekend.
Get there. If you're near Albany or within like a 2-hour radius, message me if you want to go. We have Siggy coming, Body Beast, coming to our Super Saturday, and I'm on the council, so I can try to get you in. It's sold out, but I think people are on a wait list. So, yeah, get to live events, reward yourself for little things, and whatever else I said. Talk to cool people. All right, Amy's up.
Yeah, I think I would say
It's not
every
your
every single top coach you hear, like their turning point was when they went to an event, and it's kind of nice that we have an event coming up in a week and a half next weekend. So
And bring your spouses.
yeah,
Get your spouses for Saturday, whether or not they want to go. Make them go. Wear the pants and tell
There's
them
gonna be
they have
some-
to go.
yeah, and there's gonna be some amazing announcements at the event at Super Saturday. So whatever you got to do, babysitters, make it happen.
Yeah. Some of mine are going to be repeats, but the first one I have is just challenges with yourself and kind of like putting your blinders on to what other people are doing and going with the mindset of like, I think it's important to set goals, but also going in the mindset with it doesn't matter when it's going to, or it's not if it's going to happen, it's just when it is. So I've set so many goals for myself and I've probably failed on all of them, but then that's good because it means I'm pushing myself as opposed to just setting like small goals that are, you know I'm going to achieve anyway.
Right.
And then just knowing that, like I was saying today, like I still have like a huge goal that I set for myself that I haven't hit yet, but it's not a matter of if I will, it's just a matter of when. And if it takes me, 5 years to hit it as opposed to 1 year, like it doesn't matter. I'm going to get there eventually. And then like just like the rewards of things, like Beachbody does a good job of like getting to this event was a huge like fun for me to push for because being surrounded by all the top coaches and the training and just being able to bring that back and share it is definitely awesome. So it keeps it fun for me to like break up the year with all these cool events. I've traveled more the past 3 years than I probably have my entire life. And it's awesome. Like this was basically all paid for. Beachbody does not guarantee any level of income. But yeah, so that is good. And then one thing I've been focusing on a lot more is building a local team. Pat has done a good job with that, and it's been fun for me to start recruiting people who live in the same town as me so we can go to dinner and meet up with each other and stuff. So I think, and obviously, having a team all over is great, but being able to have that local connection is huge so that you can get together even when there's not a big event going on every quarter. It keeps the funness in it of just being around those types of people.
I'm missing we have a Team Boom kickball in Delray Beach tonight that I'm missing, which is a bummer. But it is fun having a local team of coaches that are all hanging out, going out for drinks, kickball, and things like that. It's a blast.
Yeah.
And it helps the new coaches so much because when they come in and they get to meet all these people and hang out with them in real life, it makes it just so much more real and believable that they could do it too. So, but tell them quickly like how you find local people, just like a couple tips.
I see one of my coaches on here, Nicole, in the first screen. But I've been just doing through local events tabs on Facebook. You can click the events tab and see what's going on in your area. It doesn't have to necessarily just be health and fitness related. So I go into those events and see who else was invited and kind of look through their pages quick to see if it's somebody that I think I would get along with. And then also just the fitness events. And then if I connect with someone, I'll see like who else they're friends with that I have other mutual friends with. And then I just reach out to them, and like the biggest connector is that we both live in the same area. And I think it would be fun to get together and connect with other people who live in the same city as me to expand my network and stuff. So that's just kind of what I've been doing. And then like Michelle said, like people who have the same interests and stuff with you, it's going to be more fun if you're getting on calls with people you're excited to talk with that have the same, interests as you. And then the biggest thing that's going to keep this fun is working with those who actually want this and are meeting you halfway. It's not fun to drag coaches along and like just pressure them to do things that they don't want to. And it's like definitely a struggle, back and forth of who to spend your time with and everything. But as you start to build a team, you'll start to see who's saying they want it versus those who are actually putting in the effort and have the same goals that you do and stuff. So it definitely makes it more fun when you find those people that want to run with you. And you're going to have to go through a lot of people to find those, but just know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, that you're going to find people who are just as passionate about this as you are because you were interested in it. So there must be other people out there who could be just as interested in it as well. And that's definitely like, once you find that first like gold ship, you're going to want to,
I was talking about this earlier. Keep going.
It's just going to be more fun. Like it's more exciting to do this with other people as opposed to by yourself. So, and you're going to create more income that way, and that's going to be more fun when you have someone who's as interested in it as you are. So those are my tips.
Boom. All right.
All right, now we got to go get ready.
Yeah, go do your stuff.
Okay, have a good call, guys.
All right. So I think we had a couple more coaches that wanted to share a couple tips that have made it more fun for them. So go ahead and unmute yourself and hop on. I can find them. I know Caroline was one of them. I don't know if she's on.
You want me to talk, Pat?
Yeah. There you go. I couldn't. You're on the second screen. Let's see.
Oh my God, I'm late. I wanted to say real quick, when Pat was saying like earlier that if you're stressed, like something's wrong, not like wrong per se, but I had this conversation with Pat. Maybe he doesn't remember on the cruise because I was like so stressed that I was missing time on my business while we were on vacation on the cruise, which was like a hard-earned cruise, that I like went back one night when everyone was like partying at like the pizza shop to go work in my room. And like at the time I was like, this is totally normal. And now like being in a completely different spot in my business where I'm not pulling on the side of the highway to like enroll someone for 2 more points. Like it's a completely different part of my business where I'm at, is like looking back, like that wasn't healthy. So just if you're someone that maybe was like me then, and you're like listening to Pat say that and you're like, no, that's normal. Like it really isn't. So just make sure you talk to your coach if you feel like you're in that spot. Cause I definitely was back like 6 months ago. So something that my team really does that I love is we have something called a social hour, which is Wednesdays, 9:30 to 10. We have this call, and then we have our team call 9 to 9:30. And then we have a social hour, 9:30 to 10. And I have a tendency to like go back and talk about business. And I have this coach, Kate, who's one of my downline diamonds, who's very good about being like, wait, you're talking about the business. Like we really do talk about our lives and various things. And it's really cool to like get to know each other like on a Zoom versus just texting. And everyone gets on this call and we get on the team call and get on that call. So it's a really cool group of people consistently that you're just learning about. We also have, I have a leaders thread. I have a Caroline's coach huddle like Pat has Pat's coach huddle. But I also have a leaders thread that is all my like really leaders, whether I have a girl on there who's I consider a leader who has one coach, and then I have all my like downline diamonds. It just depends on who's really stepping up and being consistent. But that thread is probably like 10% business and like 90% just talking about our lives. And it's a really, really cool way to get to know each other and really become really good friends. And those coaches support me and help me not go crazy. But those two things are just make it so fun. And it's so awesome to just be able to message on that thread, just anything in my life or my business, or like sometimes I message, like I have 200 messages in my inbox. Someone make me post an empty inbox by 9 p.m. Just like little things like that. Like the same idea of like a message thread for your challenge group, like post a sweaty selfie, like post an empty inbox. And so just like little things like that. But between the social hour and the leaders thread, it's really fun and awesome to really, really get to know people on an amazing level. And I'm no longer leaving vacation stressed to go work on my business in a bad way, negative way. So that's all I got. You're muted, Pat.
All right. Thank you. That was great. Jillian, who else am I missing? And Caroline, great point. Again,
About what?
if you're stressed, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, I mean, like I literally, when Pat was like, said that exact thing to me in March, I was like, Pat's crazy. This is like totally normal.
Yeah.
I was crazy.
All right. Was there anybody else, Donnie or Jillian, or was that everybody?
That was all that I knew of. Unless, was Joe able to get on?
did Emily Crushore say she was going to, or did she say she couldn't?
She's in Mexico or something.
Okay. All right. So we got a couple minutes. If anybody on the call that has like some tips for making it more fun, like things you do that just make it less some of the things that we do every day, in and day, how do you make that a little bit more fun? If you want to share that, just unmute yourself and do it. Or if you have any questions about anything like that. Did you just unmute yourself, Lauren?
Yeah.
Okay. All you.
I'm like Michelle. I'm a yellow. And so I have to make it fun. And so I've been doing these power hours for 3 hours a night, which seems like intense because I'm a 5th grade teacher from like 7 to 5 and then come home from like 6 to 9 and power hour with Anne Marie. And she's fantastic because like Caroline said, you need to have a little fun in it and have someone to like talk to and have a little social piece of it. I think Jillian said that too. But I also have to reward myself because I'm not a structured person. So sitting there for 3 hours, I have like adult ADHD. And so I will do a task and then I reward myself by playing on Snapchat for 5 minutes. And then I'll do a task and then I'll scroll through my newsfeed even though I'm not supposed to because I feel like a rebel. And then I'll do another task and I'll do something else like I don't know, jumping jacks. I don't know. But you have to like keep it fun or you're going to hate showing up every day. And if you hate showing up every day, you're not going to get anything done. So if you're like me and you can't sit still and this business might be hard because you can't sit still, come up with ways to entertain yourself and like have little benchmarks of fun. That's it.
Yeah. Boom. Anybody else?
I'll say something. I don't know if it's
Awesome.
on or not. Yeah, so just kind of piggybacking on a little bit of what Amy and Michelle kind of already said regarding live events. Something that's kind of cool with people that are close to you is kind of making your own live events in between, kind of like what Pat was saying too. Obviously you can't necessarily do that with your team all across everywhere, but something else I picked up on some call I was on was having like challenger meetups and stuff. So before people are even your coaches, also having like challenger kickoff calls. So it's like a Zoom call with your challengers and mid-challenger check-ins as well I started doing, which was kind of cool on Zoom calls as well. So I like those ideas. And then obviously kind of getting to know people a little bit better, a little closer, and especially with the people who are local, whether it's people that you're reconnecting with or new people that you're meeting, eventually you kind of do become sort of a family. So it's kind of cool to start celebrating things like your kids' birthdays together, or, I'm in the phase of life where I do have a 4-year-old. So it's kind of cool that you're not just talking about all this fun stuff, but really like the stuff that's close to your heart. Some people thrive on that. I'm one of those. So I really like knowing that there are people there, especially, when you're going through bad times, good times, or whatnot. So not inviting everybody, you're not desperate. The first person who messages you back, doesn't, like they were saying, is not necessarily like right for you. And it would be great for a point, but kind of look at the big picture and the longevity of it all. So trying to connect with people and finding people who have the same values as you. For example, with the retreat that we're doing coming up with the Habitat for Humanity, is another thing to look forward to if everyone's not already. We got Super Saturday in a week and a half, then we got the retreat in a month. And that's really exciting for some people, and I love that the people who are excited about that are my tribe, and I'm excited about that too. So whatever your values happen to be, whether it's faith related and you're going to a particular church or something, or whatever your jam is, finding people that are associated with that, I think is really cool. And then of course, plugging into your team and doing those one-on-one Zooms Pat had us do a long time ago, and really kind of meeting the people and talking to the people that you see in these little squares every week, and developing those relationships is really cool. So I'm thankful for anyone I've met on here. So that's all. Hope that helps.
Love it. That was awesome. Anybody else? I think.
Hi.
Oh, go ahead.
No, mine's going to be really quick. Just one thing that I've changed that I've started to do that's made it more fun for me, as I'm like a super active person. I'm just like Lauren. So like our calls are great every day because we spend like the first 10 to 20 minutes just like talking. We're both teachers, so we get to kind of vent about the day. But the one thing, since I am very active, I've been starting to go live in all my challenge groups, whether it's me just on a whim, like realizing something that I just like accomplished that day or something fit me better. And I just kind of will go live, or I will schedule a time to go live with a workout, not necessarily like if it's 21 Day Fix, not necessarily that, but maybe schedule like a bonus workout. So it might be T25, and I'll go live with T25, and it gives people in the group a chance to experience something other than, you know, week 3 of 21 Day Fix doing the lower fix for the 3rd time. So maybe they're still doing the lower fix, but they're also getting a chance to do some cardio from T25 or Insanity Max 30, or try, you know, maybe 21 Day Fix Extreme for the first time and see how that works. And I get a lot of engagement from that, and people, you know, it also makes people maybe want to try BOD, like get the Beachbody On Demand if they hadn't already done it. So yeah, I don't know. That's been kind of helping me engage with other people, and I can kind of be myself, even though it's, you know, you feel silly sometimes, but it's been working pretty good.
Yeah. I started doing that too, going live in the challenge groups. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's more fun for, you know, your challengers too, because they can like get on there and ask questions. You can interact live like that.
Yeah. And, you know, they don't know if you might be running these groups, but whether or not you're really doing it with them is, you know, sometimes they might not really know you. Anybody can post a sweaty selfie, but when they actually see you like visually doing it like right in front of them, I think it adds a little something.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Anybody else want to share something?
Hey, Pat.
Yeah.
I just want to add something really quickly. I know it's kind of been said, but it really has been working well in a challenge group I have right now. Is I put everyone from all my challenge groups. I run multiple a month. So like right now I have 3 challenge groups, and I have 1 message thread for everybody, including free customers from a free challenge group, together on a message thread. And today I came back from like 3 hours away, and it was like, you have 113 new messages. So it's a super active message thread, and they really get to know each other. And then when people become coaches, they already already know each other. And so like they go through new coach training together, and then they go to the advanced training together. But I have 3 people in Coach Basics who just went to like the advanced training, who were like, this is so like literally 2 of them said, this is so awesome that we started together and we got to know each other in that message thread. So if you don't do that, it works well.
Yeah. Good call. Anybody else?
Hi.
Amanda.
Yes. I actually learned something from my coach. I was doing country heat, and I was terrible at these moves, but I wanted people to know that, you know, it's not easy. It's not something that comes naturally to me. So I was doing it anyways. But I posted a video of myself completely messing up these moves. And then like other people started to get engaged and talk about how certain moves were more difficult for them. So that made it fun for me. Just to show people that, you know, I'm not perfect. And some of the workout moves I've been doing for a while, so it does get easier. But in the beginning, it's still like difficult for everyone. So it's a really good way to kind of connect with people on that level as well.
Yeah, it is. It's like a weight off your shoulders when you're not trying to like be something you're not. You're just being completely real, sharing like every mistake, every mess up, and people trust you a lot more and they get to know you a lot more, you know? And you attract other people that want to just be that same way, that just want to be real and not try to like come off to the world that they're perfect. You know what I mean? So, and it just makes it more fun for everybody. Very cool. Anybody else? Just looking through here. I mean, people try to overcomplicate this thing, They really do. They're really good at overcomplicating it. But, you know, you guys, we're on our own journey. You know, we're not living a healthy lifestyle because we're trying to build a business. You know, we're living a healthy lifestyle because those are the kind of people we are. We're eating right most of the time. You know, we're working out most of the time. We're reading personal development most of the time, because that's just, we're the kind of people that want to grow. It's rare. It's rare to find people that do want to grow. I think everybody does, but I think a lot of people are just afraid to, or afraid of what other people think. But what we're doing as coaches is we're living that lifestyle of just being on that journey, and we're not going to be perfect with it. And we're just inviting other people to be a part of that journey with us. And if they want to be, you know, great. And if they don't, that's great too. We're not trying to jam this down anyone's throat, but we're on this journey for us, because that's the kind of people we are. And then we're just putting out our journey and seeing who it attracts to. And then from there, you know, if you do have people that want to be a part of that journey, we're just supporting them and motivating them and helping them on their journey, you know, as well. And if you do that long enough and you're not salesy and you're like, hey, I'm doing this because this is the kind of lifestyle I want to be a part of. This is my lifestyle that I want to live the rest of my life. And I want to surround myself with other people that want to grow physically, emotionally, spiritually as well. And you're just doing that because that's where your heart's at. You're going to attract good people. If you just stay on that path and share that journey with others, you're going to attract people that have that same kind of heart. And when you do, this business becomes so fun. So fun. And I see a lot of coaches that just kind of give up before they get to that point where they have those people that have that same heart as them, and they don't even realize what they gave up on because they never got to experience how amazing it would have been. So I just urge you to keep that big picture in mind, you know, finding those 2 or 3 people that have that same heart that you have, and just staying consistent. And if you miss Success Club a month, who gives a shit? You know, if you drop rank, it's okay. As long as you keep that bigger picture in mind, don't let those little things discourage you. It's going to be more fun. You're going to have more energy, and it's going to be just an inevitable thing that you're going to come across those people that have that big heart like you guys do, that want to grow and help others grow, that want to create more financial freedom in their life, that just are tired of working on a job that's kind of more of like going through the motions. You know what I mean? So keep it fun, but be real and be yourself, I think, you know, and keep that big picture goal in mind. I think that's one of the biggest ways to keep it fun. And then we learned so many other little things to also do along the way to keep it fun as well. But yeah, if you're stressed out, there's something that's just not right. It's not working, and you got to make some adjustments. But yeah, I think the thing for me that's the most fun of all of it is then when you do find those people that have that same drive, that same heart, that same desire, is working with them and helping them pull that out of themselves. Because you start to see that in them before they can see it themselves. And you start to believe in them before they believe in themselves. And the more you see it in them and point it out to them, and the more you believe in them, the more they start to see it themselves and believe it themselves too. And all of a sudden they take their game to another level, and they're so much more excited about life, and they're out there inspiring all these people. And you just can't help but like smile and feel so good that you stuck this thing out and found that person and helped them get to the point in their life where they're so pumped up about what they're doing with their life. So, all right. That's a wrap on the call. Boom on 3. All right. We'll get a little boom on 3. And then I got to go get ready for this party with the rest of them. See here if I can unmute people. All right, guys. Boom on 3. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Yeah, team. All right. We're out. Later.
Have fun.
You guys.